I'm Rich Slayton from Clash Royale League. Week 2 of the ESL Mobile Open's North American division in Clash Royale continued much the same way as the first, with a few key players really pushing for those top spots on the ladder, and everyone keeping a close eye on the newly developing meta after no balance changes for a long time, with a huge swath coming in just a few weeks ago. One deck making a big splash here at ESL has been making a similar appearance all over Clash Royale. The featured deck this week is a minor P.E.K.K.A. poison control deck with Goblin Hut, Mother Witch, the Log, Zappies, Royal Ghost. What the heck is going on here? Well, this deck was just recently featured on CWA's channel. Of course, if you follow CWA, one of the most popular YouTubers in all of Clash Royale, the American Bag played on that channel for a 12-win Grand Challenge. Bag, of course, has represented his country on the international stage multiple times. This deck is exceptionally strong, designed specifically to counter a large portion of the ground meta. So if you're up against Lava Hound, you might have a bit of trouble here and there. But if you're up against a lot of the really frustrating stuff that's currently being played on the ground, specifically Golem and Electro Giant, this is a great deck for that, with excellent control capability with the Goblin Hut, the Zappies, and of course that Big Mama P.E.K.K.A. to DPS that stuff down. Multiple players right now are running this deck in the top 1,000. A few players over 7K in the overall ladder. This thing is really strong, and we saw Latak use it multiple times here, as you've seen so far. In this event, Latak doing a great job, went 3-0 with this deck in our ESL competition. Very curious to see if Electro Giant and Golem keep gaining in popularity if this deck pops up more. On to our leaderboards. The top 3 didn't change much. In fact, didn't change at all. Some adjustments in their overall records, but still in the exact same places: 3, 2, and 1. Ruby, Zod, and Jaco. Ruby currently holding down 3rd place for a second week in a row. We mentioned last week a nearly 6K player, 58-57 personal best, but with level 11 cards. So this kid can certainly play, and he showed it over the course of this last week. Got some fun wins, of course, winning with a very, very classic P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam deck, an old-school throwback version of P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. No Magic Archer in there, using the minions, but did get the job done. And of course, for Ruby, more of that double win condition play. You see here going with Balloon and Royal Hogs together, a thing that Ruby's known for. If you're trying to push on this ESL ladder, make sure that you prepare for Ruby, if you match up with him, to go against those double win conditions. Now, last week, we speculated about our second-place player, Zod, with some rumors that maybe that account was the mini of a more established competitive player, and it turns out that was absolutely correct. Zod is the mini account of Bale, a very, very good semi-pro player out of Mexico, part of Delta Stars, a high-level semi-pro team from Latin America. Zod/Bale comes in with a 7.4K personal best and multiple 20-win challenge badges. This is a guy who can certainly ball and has competitive experience, not just ladder experience, but capable of playing in both of those environments. So it's no big surprise that his meeting with our undefeated leader, Jaco, was a great back-and-forth battle. Of course, Jaco came into this matchup completely undefeated, and Zod/Bale gave him a great run for his money. Game number 1. It was Zod taking that first game with some P.E.K.K.A. Ram Rider action against Zod's go-to archetype of minor wall breakers, a very control and defensive-heavy version. Zod coming out on top in this first one. Game number 2, the script got flipped. Jaco took game number 2, playing a very fast cycle version of Graveyard, able to get them down very, very aggressively and defend well against, Sparky, E-Barb's Rage. Oh, what the heck's going on here? Well, Jaco took the win, so don't be too worried about that one. But then we get to game number 3, and Zod pulls the old copy deck routine and goes and pulls the deck that Jaco just ran, that same Graveyard cycle deck, and hands our leader a game loss and his first match loss overall. So we still end this second week with Jaco overall in the lead, but that big 0 in the loss column no longer there. Jaco does take his first loss. And now it's time for our game of the week from ESL's Week 2 action in North America. And it's a great one between Ruby, our 3rd place player, and Latak, a very, very talented American semi-pro. Here we go, hopping into the game, and you can see Latak top of your screen, Ruby at the bottom of your screen. Ruby maybe going double win condition one more time, Balloon, and yet you see the Golem all queued up. This is classic Ruby so far in this event. And Latak going Royal Giant E-Barbs, a throwback to 2018. Played quite a lot then. Of course, the Fisherman and the Mother Witch, not part of the meta, back on them. But of course, if there's a broken card in the game, use it. If there's two, why don't you double break it? So we'll see if this Mother Witch and E-Barb can stop Golem Loon here. Of course, that E-Wiz and Fireball will both be critical for Latak in this matchup. First minute of gameplay has passed, and at the moment, no significant damage either direction. That's a good bit of Fireball value there for Ruby at the bridge, and the Musketeer adds insult to injury, 1973 on that top right-hand side. But look at this great push. Oh, and the Heal Spirit nearly gets some good work there in the opposite direction. And take a look at that. Golem behind King Tower and single elixir, and absolute brutal punishment in the left-hand lane. Royal Giant at the bridge right into a Scarmy. Log takes that off, and Mother Witch behind. This tower in significant trouble on the left-hand side. That's not quite tower down, but damage done. And this should be an easy control here. King Tower activation should be incoming with that Fisherman to pull the Golem to King Tower. There you go. E-Wiz up high. Ruby's dirty tricks not working against Latak here so far. This Balloon, though, may actually get a connection. A nice zap at the bridge. No, E-Wiz at the bridge, excuse me. And now that right-hand tower of Latak in a whole lot of trouble as well, down to 717. And here we go into the final minute, 15 seconds. And we do have the lead for Latak on that left-hand lane. And it looks like Ruby might just sacrifice the tower here. That's the right call. No point in defending 46 HP when your opponent has both Log and Fireball. Now Royal Giant in the pocket. And Ruby, what's he going to do to stop this one? Just goes and responds with a Musketeer on defense. That's a lot of damage given up. And now Musketeer with the Golem high. Mother Witch in response here from Latak. We'll see what game plan Latak can put together, because that Fireball easily clears off the Mother Witch. Goes high, and look at that. Scarmy to support the Golem here, force the Log out high, but the Fisherman protects that right-hand tower, and E-Barbs try to go coast to coast and force out a lot of elixir. And there you go, Royal Giant in the pocket. Latak keeping the pressure on and really punishing his opponent Ruby here with these over expenditures on these Golems. Golems 8 elixir, folks. Dropping that in single elixir is a huge commitment, and that's a commitment here that Ruby just could not afford to make. Here he goes, trying to get that Balloon on tower and maybe steal this one here. And now an aggressive push. Mother Witch, Fisherman, E-Barbs go down. Oh, one E-Barb in, Pigs in, but this Balloon making a beeline with Musketeer for that King Tower. Can it steal it? Fireball in the hand of Ruby, and he doesn't take it. Fireball in the hand of Ruby, and he doesn't use it to stop that push. I don't know if that was enough room to go ahead and steal that win, but man, Ruby came so close to taking that one right back. If he had just maybe used that Fireball, he had enough elixir there to at least get those piggies off the tower for a minute, he might have stolen that win from Latak. Unbelievable play there at the end. So much fun to watch. And if you're watching this at home, hopefully that fires you up to get involved as well. Of course, go to play.eslgaming.com. Register for this tournament. I want to see you here next week in the arena on our weekly recap.